I want to play some sound for you here. A lot of people were waiting for Jon Stewart last night. I imagine The Daily Show did great ratings last night. And off of the news that Trump is suing Fox News, I want to play just an assortment of sounds from Jon Stewart's show last night.
Donald Trump is suing Rupert Murdoch, the owner of Fox News, the man, other than Biden, maybe most responsible for getting Trump elected. Fox! I f***ing snuck that in there. Fox spends 24 hours a day blowing Trump, and it's not enough. Imagine suing someone mid-blow.
Let's play some other Jon Stewart sound. I don't know how David Sampson thinks or feels about the idea that Colbert might have been let go for reasons other than strictly financial reasons, as Paramount has claimed. Let's listen to some more Jon Stewart.
I understand the corporate fear. I understand the fear that you and your advertisers have with $8 billion at stake. But understand this, truly. The shows that you now seek to cancel, censor, and control, a not insignificant portion of that $8 billion value came from those shows. That's what made you that money. Shows that say something, shows that take a stand, shows that are unafraid. And not to, believe me, this is not a, we speak truth to power. We don't. We speak opinions to television cameras. But we try. We try every night. And if you believe, as corporations or as networks, you can make yourselves so innocuous that you can serve a gruel so flavorless that you will never again be on the boy king's radar, A, why will anyone watch you? And you are wrong.
I have one more sound I want to play, but you're shaking your head, so go ahead.
I look at that clip and I just think it's so sad. It's like someone doing a commercial for typewriters when the computer's coming out. Or it's like the national news people, 6:30 and 11:30 used to mean something. I grant you that. It doesn't anymore. That's life. I'm sorry. Times have changed. It's a new world out there. The late night shows, the juice is not worth the squeeze anymore. It's fun. Like it's artsy, it's opinionated, it's smart, except people don't care anymore. And the cost just isn't right. And when you're looking at a merger, you merge because you are trying to find economies of scale. You're trying to find savings. You're trying to pay down debt. You're trying to improve and increase the worth of the shares of stock that you own as one of the hosts of the shows. Guess what? The reason why your stock stinks is because they're losing so much money on doing something that used to be cool. It's not cool to be the 6:30 national news anchor because no one gets their news that way anymore. It's not cool. It used to be. Believe me, I grew up on Letterman. It's not cool to have the 11:30 show anymore. It's not a $20 million position. It's not a $100 million cost expense. It's way easier. Let me ask Jon Stewart this and Stephen Colbert. Or you can keep your job, then we're going to lay off 10,000 people who, when we add them up, don't make what you make. Your choice, but we're going to find the cut somewhere, and we're finding it in the area of irrelevance. That's the reality of what happened.
Okay, I want to get into this with you. I will say that I've seen some of the reporting on this, and it's a little difficult because I don't know what reporting is true or not, and I don't know what numbers are true or not. So I have heard that that show had 200 employees. That's accurate. Colbert himself has said that, and that they were losing, allegedly, $40 million a year, and also that CBS owns Colbert's building, so that's a substantive piece of real estate that they can also sell if they're just selling parts. But you believe that the statement is real, that Paramount says that everything that happened there, even though Colbert was accusing them on Monday of taking a big fat bribe on their platform, you believe that that's a strictly financial decision, strictly financial. They didn't mention late nights dying.
The decision to make cuts in the middle of this merger negotiation has been going on not for a day, a week, or a month, but it's going on for over a year.
Yeah, but this week was the first time that Colbert accused them of taking a big fat bribe, and last week was the first time that the FCC met with Skydance's CEO.
Not true. No, that is not true. This merger has been in play for over a year. There have been meetings and anticipatory documents about how do we get this approved. That's what mergers do, both sides of the merger. And as for what you're saying about just discovering, Stephen Colbert has been against Trump. He's been doing it since the beginning. All of a sudden,
yeah, but big fat bribe
bribes
happened this week. Big accusing on their platform a big fat bribe that happened 3 days before he was fired.
People on platforms go against the platform. You made a living going against the platform.
A big fat bribe. I never accused ESPN of taking a big fat bribe.
Yeah, you're Meadowlark because of what eventually became too much.
I did not get fired by Disney. The times changed. The company changed. The country changed. We did not change.
But that's it.
You did accuse them of
That's
cowardice.
it. That's a mic drop. That exactly. The country's changed.
I didn't get fired for accusing them. I didn't get fired for accusing them of cowardice, and I also don't have nearly the power, ratings, or money that Colbert has.
You may not have gotten fired for that, but it was certainly a contributing factor. I haven't lived it. Like that's
I didn't get fired.
Okay, understood.
And I'm not saying you got fired. What I'm saying is there was a separation that is how Meadowlark started that you were agreeing to. You were a part of that separation.
I didn't get fired. Colbert got fired, and he didn't even get the offer of would you like to do a scaled-down show.
And I understand what David is doing right now. It's hard to ignore the timing on this. It was pretty instantaneous.
It's suspicious.
Especially after they actually agreed to this settlement. And look, 60 Minutes, you could hold them up as an example. They were very critical of its parent company. And so far, we haven't seen the punitive measures, but we may not know those actual punitive measures. That may have all been handled
But 60
in-house.
Minutes wasn't making jokes, and 60 Minutes wasn't offering opinions. 60 Minutes
did the
was...
head of 60 Minutes also, resign?
Yeah, there was that, too.
So there was.
Yeah. So, David, you mentioned, it's a dying time slot, but we just saw what Jon Stewart said about these are not small shows. These are shows where they built their valuation on. South Park just got $1.5 billion from Paramount for a 5-year streaming deal. So I don't know how much value you put on that property, but if South Park alone for just a 5-year streaming deal is worth $1.5 billion, you could say The Late Show as a brand is worth several hundreds of millions of dollars, if not touching the B word. Same thing for The Daily Show if you include their entire archive. Pretty soon, with just those 3 properties, you're getting close to $8 billion in worth. So you're not touching little small properties that are fiscally irresponsible. You are directly impacting your $8 billion merger.
Well, actually, if those properties are losing money for you, then you don't make it up on scale. You can't make the argument that, hey, we only lose $1 a unit. Let's make more units.
But you made $2 billion on a franchise that was constantly crying poor and losing money.
And what? Wait, who are you talking about? The Marlins?
I'm talking about the Marlins. You can absolutely make a big-time profit on properties that lose money hand over fist. You cried poor every year.
But that was his truth.
But you're talking about something that you can actually value with outstanding shares. The Marlins were a private company. There's a public market with Paramount. I'm not sure I understand the comparison where you just add up the number of outstanding shares times the share price, then you look at what the liquidation value would be of the assets, and you say, wait a minute, is this trading above or below what would be, liquidation value? And you go and when you're making cuts, I've had friends who have been fired from CBS Paramount during the last merger. And the reason why is you're looking to cut expenses. And when you look at late night, you would say, hey, by the way, Mike, there are people getting paid $20 million. Tony Romo got, $17 million a year to call NFL games, $3 million less than Colbert, doing way less work because there is way more money in NFL than there is in late night. There is a different mix now of how that money happens and how it gets generated that is not related at all to how it was built. And what Jon Stewart is saying is, hey, we were part of why we're successful. Okay, that's great. But it's not anymore. Therefore, we got to move on. That's just business.